Hey guys, welcome back to Hannah Reads. My name is Hannah, and today we are going to be picking out my May TBR. We will be picking out my TBR by playing Deck of TBR, which is a very popular game across BookTube. I did not come up with the game. There are much more creative people that came up with the game before me, but I took the idea and added some of my own flares and twists to the game that you will see as I explain it a little further and as we progress throughout the months. So the first card that I'm going to explain is if we pull a joker, we're going to be doing a bad prompt. So these prompts could be least excited, biggest book, lowest rated, published over 50 years ago. And right now it is at least excited, which I just randomly picked before we started. And that prompt will remain there until we pick a joker, and then once we pick a joker, we will be getting a new prompt. In the middle, we have the 2 through 10, and then clubs, hearts, spades, and diamonds. So if we pick any of those, a 2 through 10, then we are going to be completing whichever prompt falls there. And then over here, for the king, it is my king's pick, so my fiance will pick my book. If I chose a queen, it is my choice, so a wild card. For the jack, it is going to be play your cards right, which is taken from Gavin over on How to Train Your Gavin. He plays this for his TBR. We're just going to be doing one round to pick out which book we're going to be reading. And then for ace, which is below that, you can't see it, it's has to roll, which is a play on my last name. I have some cards that I made, and they have random genres, so like mystery and crime, contemporary, middle grade, you get the idea. And we'll just be picking one of these cards up at random and just picking a book that is within that genre. So yeah, I will be picking 5 books for each month and completing them. If I, for some reason, do not complete the 5 books, the following month I will just add another book. So we will be picking 6 cards instead of 5. And each month I will have books that I would like to fit onto my TBR. So this month I have these 3 that I would like to fit on top of another book that I don't actually have the physical copy of. So if any of these prompts work for these books, that would be amazing, so I can, just do mood reading for the rest of the month. So yeah, let's get started. Enough of this chit chat, let's just get started. And one last thing that I did forget to mention is if I have 3 or more of the same suit, by the end of the game, I will have to pick another card. All right, and for our first pick, we got the 10 of hearts. 10 of hearts is a romance. And for the romance, I'm going to be reading Ugly Love by Colleen Hoover. I don't know a whole lot about this book other than it is a romance and it has something to do with an airline pilot. And I believe it is enemies to lovers, so I am very excited to pick that up. So go into our little llama pouch and pick out our next one. Got just some more prompts in here. 1-word title. So we'll stick that on the board. Alright. Number 2 is the 5 of diamonds. 5 of diamonds. A sad book. So give me a moment, let me think about that one, and I'll come back to you. Alrighty, and for a sad book, I'm going to be reading The Lost Boy by David Pelzer. It is the 2nd book in his series about his life. The first book is A Child Called It. So this is like the next part of his life, so more of his teenage years. And I think it's going to be really sad, but also kind of eye-opening, so I'm very excited to get that one picked up as well. and it's a nonfiction, and I'm always trying to read more nonfiction. So we'll go back into the llama bag. And then this one is on your TBR for 2 or more years. All right, so for draw number 3, we are going to be picking the Jack of Spades. So for this one, we are going to be playing a round of Play Your Cards Right, which is Gavin's TBR game over on How to Train Your Gavin. For this, I'm going to pick a book that I'm excited to read, and then a book that I'm not so excited to read. And I'm going to put 5 cards between them, and then try to guess if the next one is going to be higher or lower than the previous one. So for the book that I'm excited to read, it is going to be A Clash of Kings by George R.R. Martin. This is book 2 in A Song of Ice and Fire. So this is the book that I'm excited to read. And a book that we're not so excited about is Gold Digger by Tara Anderton. It says, 3 extremely different and independent women, a gold digger, a reporter, and a high society princess, become meshed through a whirlwind of lies, cheating, and betrayal. So this is the book I'm not as excited to read, and this is the book that I would prefer to read. So let's see which one we get. Okay, and the first card for Play Your Cards Right is a 2. I'm going to say higher than a 2. It is a 6. Then I'm going to say higher than a 6. And it's a 5. So it looks like we lost this round of Play Your Cards Right. So we are going to be reading Gold Digger by Tara Anderton this month. All right, and for our 4th pick, we got another Jack. This time, the Jack of Clubs. So now we have one of each suit. So now we're going to play that game. Again, for Play Your Cards Right, this is the book I would like to read. George R.R. Martin's A Clash of Kings, the second book in A Song of Fire and Ice. And then let me find a book that I'm not so excited to read. And for the book that I'm not so excited about, I have Jaspar's War by Cym Lowell. And this is about a woman named Jaspar whose husband works in Washington, D.C. Her 2 children have been kidnapped, and she is desperate to get them back while also trying to figure out what happened to her husband. So this is the book not so excited to read. This is the book we're very excited to read. So let's play Your Cards Right. Okay, and the first card for Play Your Cards Right is a Queen. Gonna go lower than a Queen. It's a 10. We're gonna go lower than a 10. It's a 3. Higher than a 3. It's a 4. Higher than a 4, it is, yeah, we'll say higher than a 4. It is a 2. So we lost this round, so we are going to be reading Jaspar's War by Cym Lowell. Alright, and for the 4th pick, we are going to be reading Jaspar's War by Cym Lowell, so we will go ahead and add that to our TBR for the month of May. So now for our final draw, we have a king, and we know that a king is my king's pick, so my fiance will pick the book that I will read. I will come back to you once he tells me which book I will read. Alright, and for our last pick, it was my fiance's choice. So he picked our little book club that we have between the 2 of us with Throne of Glass by Sarah J. Maas. So that will be the final book that I am reading this month. So all in all, got a pretty good reading month. We have a romance, a sad book, a political book, fantasy, so we're getting a little bit of everything. So stay tuned for later at the end of May, where I will tell you how I did and then we'll get to pick our books for next time. So I will see you guys next time. Bye!